Okay, so this is the Fruition Factor podcast. And so, you and I have we talk about everything and
A lot of things.
a lot of things. And the one of the things that I am always intrigued by with you is I have steadily watched your business grow. And I'm always curious to know, like, what's the driving factor behind that? Because so many people say they want to do things, but they never do it. But I've seen you actually do what you say you wanted to do. So that's what I want to talk about. Is your fruition factor is real high, and I want to know how you make it that way.
You know what? It's so good that you asked that because in this season, as I am like evolving and even my own understanding
Mhm.
of why I'm an entrepreneur.
So what does that look like from starting out to being a massage therapist to having your own spa to like how what happens in between, because this that's a lot that happens in
Oh
between that.
yeah.
So how do
Oh
you
yeah.
what do you do to continue to push forward in that voice that you heard in the beginning,
I
type
yeah.
of a thing?
I think what it is you're continuing to develop that relationship, if you will, with that
Mhm.
inner self.
Mhm.
Like you can't because we are so our attention is being vied for so much.
Mhm.
You have to intentionally spend time with yourself so that you can develop what you need to develop so you can always hear.
Mhm.
Because what happens is we get so distracted with things, then that gets us off the path.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
that's what would happen. Even in the midst of, and I think because I'm so, because I heard it in such a way that it just resonated with my soul
Mhm.
so much
Mhm.
that even the things that came to deter me, I knew you not for me in that same way, but I'm gonna keep on doing what I know
Right.
because for me, I know that it works for me.
Right.
I know that there's something on the other side of that. I have to go down that way.
Right.
I
Okay.
have to.
So you said entrepreneurship found you, but what was your liking? I mean, what was your I guess your liking to becoming a massage therapist? Like how did you decide like, okay, this is going to be my way, or did you even enjoy it, or you just like this is just my way?
So you know what? What's weird? It's crazy. Cause as a kid, I did it. It did not dawn on me for years, Lamika. For years, I've been doing this work as a child.
Uh-huh.
I was always doing this work.
Interesting.
Facials,
Interesting. Uh-huh.
massage.
Uh-huh.
I was doing pedicures. I was doing spa work. I didn't know it was called spa. I didn't know
Uh-huh.
to rub lotion on somebody's back.
Hey,
I
listen.
didn't know that.
Right,
And I
right.
loved it as a kid. I would rub my aunties, my mom, my sisters, my cousins, anybody who had a body. I'd be rubbing lotion on them, whatever, any kind of slippery something, oil. Give me some oil and I'm rubbing it on you.
So I would have been the family member that probably would have drove you away from being this, because
Touch, yeah.
I have a cousin that when she told me that she wanted to be a massage therapist, I was like, okay, girl, come on. Let's get some practice on me. Whenever I was at home, I would call her and I'd be like, look, girl, do you have time to just massage my feet, rub my back, rub whatever. So I get that because I have a cousin that was her thing. And when she realized that was her thing, I was like, okay, let me help you out. So that's actually pretty cool that you um were able to take something that you enjoyed as a child and to now build it into your life's work or your business or
But
the way you work.
I did not know that when I
Yeah.
got the idea to become a massage therapist.
Mhm.
It was funny because I was 19 and a girl that I went to high school with, we were getting ready to graduate high school. And a girl that I, and it's so funny now when I think about it. A girl that I went to high school with, Cassie, she worked at Whole Earth Provisions in North Park. And I don't know if you remember that store.
Yes. Yes.
Was it Whole Earth? No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
no, no, no. It was
no
no,
the
no, no.
Earth
It was
Earth Provisions.
no, it
Oh,
wasn't
oh,
that one.
her World Market.
No, 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 not World Market. It was one of the ones that was like earthy, earth something. It was something earth something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, in North Park Mall. It might have been Whole Earth Provision. Maybe they had to move out of North Park. But anyway, nevertheless, anyway, it was a very hippy dippy type store.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to work there. So anyway, when we were in one of our classes and I was like, girl, what you gonna do when you graduate? Da 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 da. And she was like, I'm gonna become a massage therapist. And I was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, you look like a massage therapist.
What
You
that?
look
Wait,
like
wait,
that.
wait. What that look like?
She was a hippie.
Oh, okay.
She wore Birkenstocks,
Okay.
smelled like sandalwood.
Okay, got you. Okay,
All the
I got a
things
visual.
all the stuff I do now.
Okay.
What flower child, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. And I'm when I tell you months later, why did spirit self say you're gonna become a massage therapist? And I was like, huh? I'm gonna become a massage therapist because the nurse in the NICU when I had my son is 26 now. He just turned 26 last Saturday, and one of the nurses in the NICU was telling me when he was born to massage him. To He was 6 weeks early.
Mm-hmm.
Massage him, and it'll help to stimulate all these growth factors and all these health benefits. And I'm like, what? Massage does all of that?
Oh
Really?
wow.
So as a kid, I was always a healer. I guess I didn't know that I had the ability to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So and so she's telling me all of this and what it'll do and da 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 da. And she was like, it'll create a connection between you and the child. It'll build a bond and da 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 da. She kind of went on about that. And I'm like, wow. And so I was just fascinated by that. And then in my head, I'm like, if that's healing for a baby, why are we not getting massages? Like, why am I just now hearing about this at like 19 years old
Mm-hmm.
about massage? Why am I thinking that this is a luxury thing to do? Why am I thinking that this is only for rich people? And why am I why are these things? Why am I believing this?
Right.
So I knew then and there I have to bring this to the masses.
Mm-hmm.
Like more people
Mm-hmm.
need to be getting massages,
Mm-hmm.
especially more black people,
Right.
embodied black people. I knew that immediately. Like, why are we as black people not getting massages? Like, I don't think I ever heard any black person in my family. I don't think I heard black people talking about massage. Not that I recall.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew something about touch was taboo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that really helped me to understand something about touch in general is taboo. And baby, it took me down a plethora of things to uncover.
Okay. Well, let
And
me tell you, massage. I've been doing and knowing about massages since I was young, so I knew that any kind of pampering in the way of a massage was something that I had to make sure that happened in my life consistently. I mean, even now I wake up and I'm like, I got to figure out how I can have somebody at my house as soon as I wake up to get a massage is where my head is now. Like, I need this person right here when I get up.
And it's crazy because you know, the more I understand about my own wellness,
Mm-hmm.
the more I peel back the layers um of trauma like put on us as a society
Uh-huh.
to be
Uh-huh.
workers for
Right.
the
Right.
systems.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
realize I'm sorry. I realize as a we are supposed to be doing community.
Mm-hmm.
because there are people that look. I was telling a friend of mine, I'm actually working with her to help her create a wellness day for the teachers at her school.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her when we met up, I said, Kim, I love you, girl. And I would love to do this for free because I love what I do.
Right.
I would absolutely love what I do. I would love to do this for free. But girl, I got bills. I will do it for free, but I know them other people, being able to get other people to be as charitable with their time and their
Yeah.
energy
Mm-hmm.
is not always um as receptive. And
Right.
so in that, I'm realizing we need each other.
Absolutely.
There's some people that do something that they love. Like, we're not supposed to be working for a living. Like, we're supposed to be working to serve each other. And so I'm realizing that now, so that all of our needs are met. Like, people are not supposed to be in lack. So that's just, now it's just weird to me. But it just helps me to understand I'm supposed to have money because of the way this system is set up.
Right.
I need money and I need
Right.
time. And so that helps me to be more free
Uh-huh.
to take the time
Mm-hmm.
for my own personal healing. Because if you're not careful, you'll be busy working to
Mm-hmm.
buy things
Right.
and more hours to buy things
Mm-hmm.
than actually living this life. And that's what
Right.
I've really come to discover. We have to slow ourselves down from doing, and
Mm-hmm.
start being.
Right. Well, I think so much of when you are an entrepreneur, a lot of it is the monetary success.
Well,
And
that's
while
if that's your mindset.
right,
That
well,
never I
yeah.
didn't go into it with that mindset either. And that was the
Mm-hmm.
difference. That was the
Mm-hmm.
difference
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Got it. Got it. Well, let me tell you something. I need them. I have and need the monetary success. Okay. So that it allows, but at the same time of having that type of success, I am still all, it's not necessarily the driver in my ability to create the things that I want to do. It is still purely, I had an idea and I want to see that idea come to fruition, which
Exactly.
is which is a big part of this. And so I think a lot of times money stands in the way, or people think money is what they need in order to complete their idea or to bring their idea in. But if you take the action steps, baby steps, everything doesn't have to be grand in order for it to be that. And I think that's what a lot of people do. And that's a lot of what I admire about what I've seen your business grow, in that you've gone from a salon suite, or being inside of a salon, to being in a salon suite, to having your own spot and your own setup. Like, how does one, that people that are looking at this, and we're having this conversation, and we talked about like how you've pushed through, like, is there something, I guess, tangible that you did to like keep going?
Um hmm, Interesting. Because we're not even where I'm going. And that's crazy because as we're talking about this, I'm thinking about where I am and I'm like, girl, where I'm at, girl, where I'm going.
Right.
And and the thing about that, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, wait until we talk about this next year around this time and see what has manifested. Because
Right.
I already know, based off of the history of what I've been doing,
Mm-hmm.
the longevity, my consistent persistence in being in tune to
Mm-hmm.
what I hear
Mm-hmm.
and what I believe,
Mm-hmm.
it has manifested every single time. So it's never failed me. So when I hear that voice,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's accurate, you
See,
know.
I think, and that's the part that you just, for me, the words that you just said, your consistency in moving forward is where has gotten you where you are, and where you're gonna where you're going. And I think a lot of people think it just happens, but it's the consistency in the work
Oh, honey. Because, baby, let me tell you, my heart is palpitating right now because had I really had my heart set on the success monetarily,
Right.
had my heart set on the money,
Mhm, mhm.
maybe we wouldn't be talking here today because ain't
That
been no money. Ain't been no money. Ain't no money right now, this very moment. But guess what? What I do know is I know what I know.
Mhm,
It has never failed me. I got here on that same knowing.
mhm.
It's the exact same knowing.
So
And it keeps me because I develop that every day,
mhm,
working at listening to myself through more practices of healing myself and
mhm,
slowing myself down because
mhm.
we've been conditioned to be in survival mode, that we
Right.
literally are. Even when I was doing what I knew to do physically, I still was doing it with the programming that was done to me since childhood, since
Mhm,
birth.
mhm.
So I had to undo all of that programming. I had to work through all those layers and pull away, and then even the traumas that kind of happened on top of why I was doing all this. There was no straight line of me getting here.
Right.
Um, but while doing that, there was just something deep in me that just kept saying, "Nah, I know
Mhm.
something else.
That's
I
good.
I, I know something else is." And it wasn't just for me.
Right. So, okay, so in that in you knowing that there is something else, how do you attract clients so that you can move forward in going to the next thing?
And that's one of the that's kind of the part that's been a little problematic and a little discouraging for me. So that's the real kind of where my journey could have discouraged me, because I've had so many ups and downs with the marketing, if you will,
Mhm.
of the business, because I personally wanted to be behind my business and my brand.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be up front. Like,
Mhm.
it just it wasn't I didn't want the eyes and the attention
I
at
understand.
all. I
Right.
just didn't want it.
Right. Yes.
And now I'm having to be thrusted into it, and now I understand why.
Mhm. Well,
Because
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, 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 you go ahead.
Well, no, you say being thrust into it and you understand and you know why. I think because you and I have had this conversation several times. But even if I have to be in the forefront, I don't have to do it in the manner that someone thinks I have to do it. There's many ways for me to be, I guess, quote unquote, the face, but still doing it in a manner that I'm okay with doing that. So how have you been able to, now that you've been thrust to be that, how have you managed that?
It's been so challenging, like a baby doe, just girl. Because because I didn't know how to be in front of people. Like, you're
Mhm,
having to reintroduce yourself to the world in a
mhm,
way, in a
mhm,
sense. You know what I'm saying?
mhm, mhm,
Being vulnerable, more exposure to yourself. And so for me, it just wasn't safe for me
mhm,
to be
mhm,
as vulnerable to the world, just due to life happenings. We're not going to
mhm.
go down that road right now, but just life happenings will cause you to shut yourself off and
Right,
close off and be in your safe space. So
right.
I'm an extroverted introvert, very extroverted in the spaces that I feel very safe
Ye
in,
yes,
but in the world, I don't
yes.
trust the world.
I
So
gotta play this. I'm gonna have to play this for people because when I tell people that I am an introvert, they're like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yes, I am." But I am very much so that in the spaces that I am comfortable in, I
Mm,
am very much so an extrovert.
yeah.
But outside of that, I'm gonna sit over here in this corner and I'm just gonna watch what we got going on.
And it took me a while to, because I used to always think, oh, I'm an extrovert because my world was small.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But once
Oh,
the
okay.
world expanded and social media came about, now I can type all day. That's different. But to
Mm-hmm.
interface with you, oh,
Yes.
energy. I
Mm-hmm.
energetically, I already feel it's too
Mm-hmm.
many people.
Right.
There's too many energies coming at me. I don't know what's coming at me, and I didn't know that that's what until recently. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I am very sensitive
Mm-hmm.
energetically, so I
Mm-hmm.
need to protect myself, and I didn't know that protection needed to be done because you think you're protected,
Right. No,
but you just
yeah.
out here, but you
No,
just really out here.
that makes total sense. I completely get that because in that protecting your energy, it allows you to move forward with the things that you want to get done. Because when you're letting that energy go to whoever and
And
whatever,
yeah,
it's a whole nother and for people that don't understand that, they think it is a uppity kind of a thing when it's not. That is that I am very intentional with my words and with my the energy that I give and the energy that I receive. And to a lot of people that is not the thought process.
it's offensive.
Yes, offensive. Yes. Yes. I have been known to be offensive and that's really not what I'm doing.
You
I just don't
protecting
like
your energy.
your energy.
You protecting your energy, your peace at all costs. No, I'm so.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's so funny because I have been so outspoken as a kid. I used to get in trouble for that all the time, asking questions as to why. I need clarity.
Right, right. But I think that allows you that's a whole part of having a high fruition factor. You're aware, and so I may not necessarily always be clear, but I'm aware as to the things that are around me and a good idea as to like what I want to accomplish. And so if you're in a space where the energy doesn't match or it doesn't add up to what I'm trying to do, I'm just gonna exit. That part. For those of you that are listening and you are not watching us on my YouTube channel, The Real About Entrepreneurship, make sure you go check this out so that you can watch the video so you can see the signs that we're giving without giving it,
The look, you know, the looks and the stares and the
yes, that we all know.
we know them.
Um,
Yeah, because I mean, you know, when you look back, you think about like, oh, I've been like this.
mhm,
I came into this world this way,
mhm,
but we have been conditioned to suppress
right,
and to acquiesce to the standards of other people's opinions,
mhm,
feelings, um and just bend ourselves into a pretzel
mhm,
for other people's comfort because we're trying to come out here and be free to be ourselves,
mhm,
and people are like, no, that's not how we do it here.
right,
We don't do it like that here. You have to get in line like everybody else and do what we do, or else you gonna be, you know, you gonna be in trouble. You going to the principal's office. you,
right,
you getting
girl,
these licks. Go get a switch.
girl,
You
send me, okay.
shut up. Quit talking. You
Yeah,
know,
send me. Call my mama, okay.
all the
I mean,
things.
yeah, all the things.
And so, you know,
Yeah,
I came in just questioning everything and just being like, why? But why? And being told, you know, you're rebellious, or you know, you disrespectful, or you know, just different things to
right,
be made to feel like something's wrong with your curiosity.
right.
And as you've gotten and as I've gotten older, ooh, That's a different subject for another day.
That's a whole, yeah, that's a whole subject for a whole nother day. Okay, so to go back to what you talked about, the marketing and having to put yourself out there,
Mhm.
how have you or what are you doing to overcome that? Because you talked about this time, next year, where the business is going. What are some things that will help you be where you are next year, knowing that these are some marketing things that I have to do? Like, how does that work for you?
Right now, utilizing what we're doing here,
Hmm.
podcasts, social media. I listen, maybe when I said I don't want to be on here like this, I don't want it. But
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You say you don't want to be on here like this. What do you mean? You don't want to be on here like this?
I didn't want to be exposed to as many people. I guess energetically, I didn't know how to like protect myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now that I know how to protect my energy from
Hmm.
what may come through the filtering of, because that's still energy,
Right. 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 Right.
regardless of
Yeah,
regardless of if I encounter these people, that's energy coming at me
for sure. Which is why I
from
always somebody send me something. Yeah.
wherever they are in the
Yeah.
world. Do you hear me?
That's
I don't
true.
care where
For
they
sure.
at, they energy travels.
For sure. For
It
sure.
travels, it's gonna
For
get
sure.
to me.
Right. So in
And so now,
in having a business, but how do you because I only have all of these social media accounts because, I have a business. If I
mhm,
didn't have a business and I didn't have the
I'd be off.
desire,
I'd be
it
off.
wouldn't even that I'd be all I wouldn't even I would have never downloaded any of them in the first place. And so I'm that person where I have to re-download it in order for it, if I can't hit it and it take me to I guess a URL or something like that, then it's challenging for me to see it because I'm just like,
Yes.
I don't really have a need for it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my necessarily my thing. So knowing that we have a business and that's kind of the way of, the world and how we potentially get clients, what platforms are you on and how do you protect your energy, knowing that you're sensitive to it?
Well, first of all, I had to find out what tools I needed for protecting my own energy. I just had to I had to spend time with myself to know, oh, okay, you're protected, and what that meant for me, how I
Mhm.
needed to be protected.
Mhm.
And once I figured that out, then now I have the force field. I've got the force. May the force be with you. Now the force is with me.
Right.
Now I'm good. So now I can, but I've just kind of just gradually did it, just scared,
Mhm.
as they say, because it
Uh-huh.
was necessary.
Okay.
To be on Facebook, Instagram. I did a little bit of TikTok probably a couple of years ago, and
Mhm.
I think I may have put a video up maybe a year ago or so. I want to be more so on like YouTube. I really love YouTube as a platform that I've consumed a lot of content. So I really
Mhm.
love things like, these type of conversations.
Mhm.
And so utilizing these type of platforms, I've learned, oh, it's not just the people that I'm going to come in contact with me that I need to block the energy, but there's also people that are of my like mind that I
Mhm.
need to connect with that feeds my energy.
Right.
That has also been a part of that force field. So being able to get the balance of that, since the content I've consumed has
Mhm.
been a part of that process of understanding, oh, this is a part of my force field, this is a part of
Right.
the tool.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, now I have that to give back to. So
Right.
now I have something to reciprocate.
Right. Yeah. And to curate your experience on the different social media platforms,
Yes.
which is definitely what I've done. And
Hmm.
like you, I've always loved YouTube and the fact that I could learn something. That was always good and being able to connect. So that I love the idea of that. So in attracting the clientele that you want, because obviously that is a big part of the fruition factor.
Yeah.
What types of clients do you or who is your client? Who's coming and enjoying the services that you offer?
So currently, my clientele has gone from being predominantly Caucasian. I was in a kind of a more upper class area of Dallas, and that's where I had been for the first 15, 16 years of my career.
Mhm.
And within the past 3 years since COVID, I've moved to Oak Cliff, which is more African American, more multicultural, Hispanic area. And I have, when I tell you, I have absolutely loved the community. And I think that has really tied into the purpose of me being in Oak Cliff, because I've
Mhm.
always known I was going to do something with, well, I say always known. For the past 7 years, I had another vision that layered on top of the original vision of having
Mhm.
a spa, having a business,
Mhm.
to where it's also social entrepreneur, social enterprise.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and I didn't even know that word until like maybe 2 months ago. But, you know, I knew what the concept of what I was trying to do
Mhm.
to help liberate our people
Mhm. Mhm.
through the ways of this self-care practices and all the healing modalities that we are not familiar with
Mhm.
culturally.
Right.
It's not typical in our culture,
Right.
but we need this healing,
Absolutely.
and we and America owes us this healing. Okay,
Right.
and and
I
and and I've decided that they're gonna give us this healing.
I'm gonna
They
be a
gonna
big
get,
part of that.
and they're gonna give us this money to make it happen.
Like, let's get it.
Because I'm willing to do the work, but we need funds.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But and funds are definitely a big part of, having a business. So in those, so you're in the Oak Cliff area, which is great. And I've traveled to you regardless as to where you have been. I love it. Even though
Thank
you
you.
I gotta travel a little further now, but it's okay. Um,
Well, just a little bit.
just a little bit, just a little bit.
It's always
My
a good time, though.
it's always a good time. I just have to plan. I have to plan better because I'm a last minute person. I'm like, oh, I can get there in 5 minutes, but technically it's gonna take me 45. You know what I'm saying? So I've just had to be better with that. So the client, so that your clients are, I guess coming from all over the DFW Metroplex, but you are in the Oak Cliff area. So how does we talked about social media? So like how does somebody find you that wants to come and enjoy? Or first of all, what services do you offer? Because I know, and sometimes I forget that I gotta act like I don't know. So what types of services do you offer?
So I offer massages, facials, waxing, lash extensions, body contouring. And it's not that I'm proficient in all of those things. I have those licenses because the ultimate goal was so that I could actually have other people collaborating with me in those endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do those services. I love those services. I love serving people. I think it's just mainly about the interaction of serving people.
And
And
you were good at it because I was like, I'm getting on your nerves, Ayla. And she'd be like, no. Girl, just tell me if I'm getting on your nerves.
because at the end of the day, it's more than the the idiosyncrasies of people.
Mhm, mhm,
When you're serving from a heart of love, when you're serving from a heart of, you know, that you're there to serve them in a way that they don't even know that they're there being served for,
mhm, mhm.
it also does you good, because you don't even know what you're getting in the time of the exchange, because it
Right,
tests you as well.
right, that
And I
makes
think
sense.
and I think whenever we're coming from a place of servant leader in a way, it keeps us from really thinking too much of
Mhm,
ourselves
mhm.
than we ought, like they say in the Bible. But really, no, we're here to serve each other, because at some point in time, you I have to you serve me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you
Yeah,
know, we need each other.
Right. So what? Okay. So what are your favorite services to do?
Um, I love lash extensions. I love doing lash extensions. I guess you know what, I think it just has a lot to do with just the tediousness of it. It's just
Right.
it does let me tap into that creativity,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of being artsy with my work.
Mm-hmm.
But massage has been definitely a favorite thing to do, just because of the touch, the intimacy
Uh-huh.
that is non-sexual, but it really does connect you to a person when people's hearts are in that right place.
Makes sense.
um and then and facials, definitely it's still another form of touching um people's facial aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
you know, carries a lot of weight for them. So
Right.
just helping them with those issues, and giving them the confidence that they need because I've been there. I've had those skin issues where you lack the confidence to be
Mm-hmm.
yourself in public, even in the smaller spaces that you have to go into. So I know how traumatizing that can be, and how uncomfortable that can be to just, go out into the world. So, with our mental health conditions and all of those things,
Mm-hmm.
running sky high just due to all of the exposure that we're getting from seeing everybody else. There's a lot of pressure to um, keep up appearances.
For
And,
sure.
and if I could be of some help with that, I, it's a great thing. It's another form of healing.
Right. Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
even though that may seem superficial to some, it's still a form of healing.
Right, and there's many parts of it. I often talk about, being an entrepreneur. I often use other services of other entrepreneurs, which yours are one of the ones that I use quite often. And so for me, it allows me to continue to push forward in the different things that I want to get, that I want to get done. And I'm like, okay, Latoya, I need a massage girl because, and can you stay longer on my feet? Because when I tell you, it really, it releases things. So there are so many things to it other than the vanity piece that many people may think of. But there are, and like you said, a lot of, with the mental health issues and it gives my body the opportunity to slow down, which allows me to be able to continue with all the different things that I do. So it's definitely a healing component of it, and not just so much of the superficial or the vanity or the, I got those too, but the massage piece of it is definitely a big part of it. So for somebody who wants to utilize your services, how do they find you? How do they schedule an appointment with
Yeah,
you?
they can find me on Instagram, Facebook, of course, through my website, www.infinitepossibilitiesspa.com, and Infinite Possibilities Spa on all of those platforms as well. If you do a Google search, you'll find Infinite Possibilities Spa.
Okay, absolutely. All right. So, my favorite thing well, not my favorite thing to say, but one of my things is to say is don't cut me when I'm getting ready to ask a question that I didn't, I guess, preemptively give. But the name of this podcast is The Fruition Factor. And I definitely, I talk to entrepreneurs who I have come in contact with, like, I think they have a high fruition factor. And I want to know, like, what was the cause? How did you get that high fruition factor? So my question to you is, how did you get your high fruition factor?
My faith, my faith, my faith. Period.
Period. That's it. That's all we need. All right, then, guys. All right. So I have been talking to Latoya of Infinite Possibilities Spa. And the information on how to contact her as well as how to schedule an appointment will definitely be in the contact information below. So definitely feel free to get your healing on with Latoya and her business. And I appreciate you guys for watching. You can listen to this podcast on wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also consume it on YouTube. I have finally added the component of video to my podcast. Child, that's been in the works since 2016. So I'm getting my fruition factor up. Okay.
Yes, she is.
Okay. All right.
And
All
all
right,
the
guys.
things.
All the things.
Yeah.
All right. So so I appreciate you guys listening to the Fruition Factor podcast. And until my next guest, peace.